Everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for this tutorial. Today I'm continuing with my desktop organization theme, and I've got for you today this little sloped pot, whatever you want to call it, organizer. It's 3 little boxes here, and as you can see they are graduated in size, and then they are sloped on the side as well. You can put them together in different fashion. You don't have to have them this way. You can have them any way you like, because they all have the same footprint. They all have a 2 by 2 inch bottom. So as you can see here, if I take that one out, you could turn it round like that if you so wanted. You can have these back to back however you like, and it goes together very quickly. Doesn't use a whole lot of materials, and it holds tons of items that you will need for your desktop. And if you stick with me, I'll show you how it's done. Using 300 GSM white cardstock for the main structure, so this is a heavyweight card, and for the decorative papers I've chosen the first edition Perfect Illusions paper pad. I cut my cardstock, and I have here the tray, which measures 4 inches by 8 1/4 inches, and I'm going to score this at 1 inch on all 4 sides. And as I said, this is going to be the tray in which the other boxes all fit. So 1 inch and 1 inch. Right. Now the next one I have is for the large box. This measures 11 inches by 6 inches. I'm going to score along the 11-inch side at 4 inches and at 6 inches. And on the 6-inch side at 2 inches and at 4 inches. Next, I have the medium box, which measures 9 inches by 6 inches. And on the 9-inch side, score at 3 and at 5. And on the short side, score at 2 and at 4 inches. So you'll see they're all going to be 2 inches. And for the smallest piece, this measures 7 inches by 6 inches. On the 7-inch side, I'm going to score at 2, at 4, turn it to the short side and score again at 2 and at 4. And that's all our scoring done. The tray piece, and I'm going to fold and burnish these score lines. And then along these score lines here, we're going to cut up on the score line here, and at the same time we're going to take a little wedge off of these so that it fits a little better. Okay, do the same here, up to that score line, and take a wedge. this idea for this project from Poodle's Papercraft, which is the same YouTube creator that I used for the desktop organizer. And for her video, she did not decorate the outside of the tray. She used a ribbon, because one thing it does is, because this is a bit longer and it is a bit more floppy, she thought that the ribbon pulled it in a bit tighter. So actually at this point I haven't decided if I'm going to use the ribbon or if I indeed will decorate this. But if I had decided ahead of time to decorate it, I could have done that before I put it together, but it's not really a big deal. So we'll move on to the boxes. Now for this, there are 3 boxes: the large, the medium, and the smallest. And I'm going to fold and burnish these score lines, and for each of these boxes they're going to be put together in the exact same manner. So start with this largest one, and as you see, one side is taller than the other, and that is because we're going to actually cut a slope out of this. So want to come up these 2 score lines here, this one and this one, this rectangle is, okay, and again take a wedge out of this so that it fits neater. Turn it to the other side and do exactly the same. Take that wedge and there as well. So you have this shape, and that is going to be the shape for all the boxes. And these pieces here are the bottom. This will come up tallest first, and then the short one will come around. And the reason I'm going to do it that way is so that you don't have any seams inside. Now, if you don't mind having seams inside, you can do it this way, but you do risk catching things on this here, so it's better really to have this short one on the outside, and then it will be covered with the pattern paper. Okay, so next we want to put our adhesive. Going to go ahead and do both of them at the same time. Bring this forward. We can go in here and spread that glue around. Get it stuck down. And now we're going to put glue here and here on these rectangles. And I want to get right out to the edges. And here as well. And that's going to fold up here like so, and wraps around. So give this You can go inside, push down on that. The fingers to go in there as well. Give that a moment to dry. And then once that is secure, which looks like it is now, we can start cutting our slope. And where we're going to cut is from this corner here, this edge here, where this score line comes down. We're going to go right up to that corner. Now you could, if you like, mark it with a pencil, or you can just take your scissors, like I'm going to do, and just go straight up. You can go from either way. I think I'll go this way. There we are. And we'll do this side next. That's why you want a long pair of scissors, so that you can just do it all in one go. It's a little bit wobbly there, so I'm just going to clean that up just a teeny bit. Okay, so there's our first box constructed. I'm going to carry on constructing the other two boxes, and then we'll be ready to decorate them. As you can see, those all came together rather quickly, and they will fit into the tray. You can arrange them any way you like. You can arrange them this way, so that they're sort of stepped through. To start with the longest here. The mats for these will be for the sides where this slope is. Initially, you want to cut this at 4.5 by 1 3/4. For the back, 4 3/4 by 1 3/4. And for the front, at 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. Now, to determine where to cut this so that it will fit along here and have the border around it, I want to measure in, and I just going to need a pencil. I'm going to measure in 3.5 inches from the bottom. So 3.5. You can put it on the grid as well and measure up 1, 2, 3.5. So 3.5 here, 3.5 here. Okay. Going to cut it from that 3.5 inch mark up to the just going to double check that. Yep. So I don't really need that one there. I can just use this one. And that will be for one of the sides. Okay. For the other side, you just need to flip it round so that it slopes in that direction. And what you could do is just use this as your template and cut the other one. There we are. So now we have this side and we have this side. So we're going to glue those down. Decorated. For the second box, this one has mats that are, let's see, these two for the sides. These are the two for the sides that go here, and these measure 1 3/4 by 3.5. Okay. And for the front, we have 1 3/4 by 2 3/4, and for the back, 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. So again, with this one, I'm going to make sure I've got it going the direction that I want it, and that way. I'm going to mark out for this. I'm going to mark out 2.5 inches, so I'm just going to put it on the grid here and use that. 1, 2.5. I'm going to use my scissors to cut from that point to there. As you can see, it's going to go here. I use this as my template for my other piece. And that one, I need to make sure it's the other direction. So just flip it over. And take that edge off. So we have those two, and then we have our front and our back. Our smallest box is now ready to decorate, and again, these pieces are going to go on the side, and they measure 1 3/4 by 2.5, and our front and back pieces, the back measures 1 3/4 by 2 3/4, and our front is 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, so that is a square. So again, we're going to measure for this, and for that it's going to be 1.5 inches that we want to cut the slope. So just get that out of the way. 1 1/2, so 1.5. That's the way I want to cut it. So all you have to remember is that one has to go that way, so the other has to be the exact opposite. So if you put them together so that they're pattern side to plain side, or if you have a pattern on both sides, you know that you've got the opposite side down. And then you can just cut it at a diagonal there. And you'll have your two pieces, one for either side. And we're ready to put it in our tray. One, two, and three. And again, it's a nice fit. And I do agree about the ribbon, tying that around to help pull that in. So I think I'm going to do that. But I also think I'm going to cut a strip to go ahead and decorate that as well. Decorate the sides of the tray now. I'm just going to take that out with two pieces that are cut at 5 7/8 by 3/4, and two pieces that are cut at 1 7/8, again by 3/4. Have this gold sort of ribbon, which I'm just going to pull it so it's tight around the box, and I can then tie it off in the front with a bit of a bow. So I'm going to snip that off and tie it in place. I don't even have to glue it in, and that way if I change my mind and want to change it out later, it's not going to tear anything. It's a little fiddly, but yeah. Oh, yes, that's better. I don't even think I'm going to make it into a bow. I think I'm just going to cut these ends off. I've got a pair of pinking shears here. And cut those off. There we are. And our organizer is done. So again, we can fill this with lots of goodies, like we did with the desktop organizer. You'll see that there's plenty of room for lots of things. That in there, that. For scissors, glue, tape runner, pokey tool, oh, all sorts of things. Still lots of room left. So there we have it. The triple box organizer. Thank you everyone for joining me for this desktop project. I think it would make a nice little addition to your desktop, as I intend to use it on mine. And I hope you'll join me on another video very soon. Thank you, goodbye, and crafty hugs.